Hi and welcome to Zunguka TV. This is Up Close and Personal, whereby we get candid and talk about different stories. And today I'm super excited. This is one of those interviews that everyone deserves to listen to. It's one of those stories and one of those journeys that will inspire many of you. It's a story of hope, a story of faith, and a story of grace. Cleopatra Wanjiku is in studio today and she's going to be sharing her story with us. But before we get to the good part, which is her story, we are located at Bold Africa Studios, that is at Total Energies opposite Safari Park Hotel, and the sponsors for this particular interview is Zunguka Africa Safaris. Remember to book your holidays with Zunguka Africa Safaris. They have the Lipa Pole Pole option. I'll keep on reminding you about that because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Mashuja is next week. We have the December holidays coming up. Your kids need to go and have fun. Your employees need to engage in those team building activities, and Zunguka Africa Safaris will be able to do that for you. My name is Angelis Atandi. You can find me on social media at Angelis_Atandi, and you can find us on social media at zungukatv.ke across all social media platforms. If you're new here or you're a returning subscriber, remember to comment, like, subscribe, and share. Hi, Cleopatra.
Hi.
Kindly introduce yourself to the people. Who are you and what do you do actually?
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Thank you for having me here. My name is Wanjiku Cleopatra. I am many years old. Sasa nishaze.
We won't say that here.
And I am a fashion designer as well as a HIV advocate, and I run a clothing line in Itokaba collection in an organization called the Voice of a Black Child. So yes, that is generally who I am.
Yes, so many things. But before we get to that, I just want to say your skin is popping. We're talking about that. And you'll share the skincare routine definitely for us.
Aremis. I don't have even to share anything else.
Let's first talk about your HIV story and how it came about and when you actually discovered that you are living positively.
All right. So it's quite a long one, and thank you for the good and amazing introduction, because it's a story of strength, resilience, and courage. And I knew about my status in 2007 when I was 13 years. And this is through my social. My mom had passed away in 2001 when I was 8 years. So mimi nilikuwa naenda tu hosi, the normal clinics that I had some issues. Growing up, I was a sickly child. And nilikuwa napelekwa clinic, just a normal day. Then niko hapo, the nurse says, and I think they felt it's the right time. I was in class 8. They felt it was the right time to disclose, because you see now I'm getting to my teenage years, and as well I'm going to high school. Of course, they were expecting I'll go to a boarding school, and I always tell parents it's good to start that disclosure process at the earliest age, because it helps, it determines how this child will live their life from there. So me tumeenda hosi, I used to go to Karatina, I'm from Nyeri. So tumeenda, and the nurse says, we want to have a test. So niko like, hata ukiambiwa as kids, you know, when you're a kid, all you mind about is sleep, food, and all that. So I said, it's fine, let's have the test. Nikauliza, lakini ni ya nini? Akaniambia tunafanya test ya HIV. Back in school, we all know, even you all know, we were always told about HIV. It's a killer disease. It's we all knew that it's sexually transmitted. Hatukuwa tuna blood transfusion. There's no other. It was not in details. So me niko 13 years and niko class 8. Of course, I have not had sex with anyone. Niko like, sawa, acha tupime. And they tested, but that was the way that they felt was the right way to disclose. So the results were there, and I think I usually say those 15 minutes is a wait. I've never waited for anything. After the way I'm waiting for chumba is not that long. I mean, it was the longest time that I've ever waited for something. But the results were there. Now wakaniambia sasa uko positive. So niko like, hold on,
I'm just 13.
Munasema. So the nurse, and I remember that kanini, I always say it's very vivid in my mind, because the only thing that came in my mind is that nitakufa. So nikauliza, so what happened? What are you trying to say? They said, now it's because of your mom was positive, and then you got the virus from her, and but that doesn't mean, so mnaniambia it doesn't mean nini. I mean, you're telling me about my mom when hata ashakufa, so that means I'm equally headed there, and I could picture myself as I did with my friends and my family crying there. But wakaniongelesha, and sikumbuki hata anything walisema. And they said that nitapelekwa clinic, the CCC clinic. Unaona sasa nilikuwa nimeenda chest clinic, so the CCC is somewhere next. Nitapelekwa, and then they start me on medication. So that is exactly what happened. Nikapelekwa, they took me through their hair counseling, nikatolewa damu na nikapewa dawa. So at that point when I was nikipewa mpaka dawa, niko like, wananiambia sasa dawa lazima umeze dawa. You know, people don't know. I see people, yani watu, people out there wakisema when I tell people even to use condoms and even nasema ukimisi dawa, si dawa zikuna ni kumeza dawa. So you're here being told umepewa dawa. And they tell you ARV certificate cha juu najua sijui nikwambia. Unapewa asubuhi. Yes, we are trying to retry and sensitize. You get to decide what time you want. Unauliza unataka kumeza dawa saa ngapi. So if you decide it's 7, it's 7 if it's AM or PM, ni 7. Si 7:01 ama 6:30. The reason we say so, ama they give that duration, it's because you are trying to reduce assuming this is the virus. The drug inakuja ku is around so that it avoids mutilation. Isiongezekane. That is why when you take drugs are supposed to suppress. Zina reduce, zinafanya, in a better word, zisizaane. So it won't multiply. So the moment umemeza dawa 7, alafu sahau kuja umeze saa 4, those 4 hours you've given the virus a chance to multiply because there is no drug that is surrounding it.
At this point you were 13 years, so you're a teenager. There's a lot that is happening. You don't know why you're being told that you need to take this certain medication. Put me in that headspace as a teenager, and you're now being told that you will have to live life positively for the rest of your life.
So what I always say, and I feel at that point, I felt that life can be very untrustworthy because I'm 13 years. I lost my mom at 8 years. 5 years later, I'm being told that I'm positive. And not just being positive, that I'm supposed to depend on medication for the rest of my life. So it was quite traumatizing, and I think I wouldn't want any young person to go through that. Not even any young person, even an adult to go through that. But nikapelekwa through that, nikapewa dawa, and we went home. So I remember after that my dad came. My dad is still there. Tukaongea, akanielezea everything, and I started my journey. But now you see, I'm trying to adapt to this new life. You're in school, nafaa kufanya exams, niko na, yani it was just a whole transition. And that is where when I'm telling my story, I like it when I refer to what is happening today. You see that transition from from a kid to an adolescent, when this is referring to adolescents or children living with HIV. That is where most of them get lost. And because they have not previously hakuja kuwa na a very good transition. Your transition, you're coming from adolescence to adulthood, care, it has been quite a challenge. That is why we'll keep up very many infections among adolescents and young people. Do you believe, Angie, when I tell you that 14 adolescents are getting infected with HIV every day in Kenya?
That's a big number.
And you're checking between 14 to 24 years, so those are adolescents. So that means in every week we are getting 98 HIV infections of adolescents every week. That tells you that we still have a lot of work to do with regards to sensitization, and that group iko na shida yenye most of the time hatutaki ku address. Tunataka ku assume that they are kids, they're not having sex. They are. And that's we tell parents, don't assume ati mtoto wako juu unamuona nini hivi. Learn to talk to them, tell them what is happening in the world, because they'll get there and they'll experiment. So mimi ndio hiyo nikafanya exams, and all through my issue was I'm going to school, naenda high school, naenda boarding. Boarding I usually hear mtu akienda shule vitu zote unamwaga, unafanya nini, dawa nitakuwa nafanya nini, what will I do in school, how will I keep my drugs, how will I take my drugs and all that. So what happened when I did my exams, then nikaitwa shule, my dad came through for me. And so I always tell parents, you see, this is your child, you know them better than anyone else. They get into a new environment. I think it's your duty. You know, parents stopped being parents. Hiyo si uongo. Wazazi waliacha ukipeleka mtoto shule mwamwachilia hivyo ni wa mwalimu. So and through that, it's what my dad did, and he went to school. And before even I do that, I remember something in primary school. I was telling me at any point sikuwa have an idea about my status. You see people assume wanakuuliza kwani huwaijua, like huwaijua. But I remember an instance, my friend we in school, just normal arguments za watoto hivyo, akaniambia mimi huwezi niambia kitu na mama yako alikufa juu ya ukimwi. Yes, so niko,
you didn't have to say it like that.
I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know. So I even, you know, nili assume to, because sikuwa najua. Yani sina anything. Me knew my mom had succumbed to chest infections. So mimi ameniambia hivyo, niko like sikuargue, sikufanya anything. Nikamwambia ni sawa. Mimi sinajua. Na nikamwambia mimi mamangu hata alikuwa mgonjwa kifua, ndio hiyo story ilikuwa hivyo. So and then there's still an instance that a teacher told me, she was telling me that I should tell my shosho to take me to a certain clinic in Karatina. So I'm a kid, me sijui of course JO clinic, but later on when I was in high school nikienda hosi mtu upitia hapo, iko DB primary school, those from that place no. So nikapitia and then nikaona inaitwa home based care. So nikasema I think I should try, I should ask, cause nilikuwa nakumbuka huyu mwalimu si alishaniambia shosho yangu anipeleke, kwa nini alikuwa ananiambia hivyo. So I went there nikapata wana take care of people who are positive. So I asked some questions, nikajua, so that means she equally knew, they knew. I'm the one, yani unakaa place watu wanajua
everyone knows apart from you.
But I think that was quite well, because if I could have known it at a younger age, sidhani ninge take positive, because I had little to no information then. So back to high school, mimi nikaingia high school. And honestly, I always say I have no complaint about my high school life. My high school life was the best, because when people know, when the teachers know, and you know, unaona hata huyo mwalimu at some point na feeling is fair kumblame, because probably from her point of view alikuwa anafikiria najua, na ndio maana alikuwa anajaribu kusaidia, you get. So these teachers knew, because aliambia the deputy and the principal. So me life yangu ya shule ikakuwa poa, nika introduce kwa shule, I got all the care. But now the first year was okay. But remember, this is something new. Bado nasahau kumeza dawa. Si tunakunywa vizuri. Leo nitakunywa, kesho watu watakuwa kwa hostel, sitakunywa, because of course kama ni walimu na nasa najua no one else, because the reason waliwaambia ni juu at least because I was going to clinics, I'm newly diagnosed, hosi lazima niende and all that. So some instances nitakunywa, some instances nitasahau, some instances naenda kunywa dawa watu wako teenager, watu wako kwa dorm, hautaweza kutoa dawa kwa box ukunywa, because kids can be very inquisitive. Na hata si not kids, everyone. If we are here tukiwa na wewe na nione hata umemeza dawa, nitakuuliza kwani uko sick? That is the first thing that will come, and that is the human nature. So mimi nika inform too. That is now 2009. I got sick, very sick. Very sick to the point mimi your point nasemanga, if God took me, I got out of that place, I don't think there's anything else that I can overcome in life. So nikakuwa msick. Mimi sijui niko msick wapi. Nakohoa na sweat na nini. But sasa niko na idea, mwalimu deputy was very close to my dad. I think they had already developed. Juu sasa niko hapa katikati, I'm going to the hospitals. I know they want to support. I was doing well in school. It's not like I was doing so. They really wanted to support. So nilikuwa nimekonda. Hey. So akaniambia, I will not allow you to go to the hospital. I'll call your dad akukujie. So you can think how bad that was. So babangu akapigiwa, akakuja, namita Mr. Mashira akakam. And venye niliitwa nikaenda kwa deputy, I could see aliniona hivi mpaka akalia. And I felt the pain in his eyes, and there's nothing that he could have done. Like, we've gotten to that point, but anashindwa nimekunywa nini, why was it? But it was clear ni TB nilikuwa nimepata. Tukaenda hospitali. I have a stepmom. I will talk about her much later. But huyo stepmom zangu alikuwa anafanya job Nyeri level 5 ya PGH. So we went there. Then tulienda nifanywe scan na all those tests and that, wakapata niko na TB. Because I was really bad, wakasema I'm supposed to be admitted. But this mom said apana hata admitiwa. Mimi tutaenda home, nitamtakia care. And you see, that is the point in my life na semanga pia yeye, if she could have, and of course she came, she knew my status. Of course haizi kuwa ati alikuwa na babangu na ajui about me and all that. But there's no point in my life na semanga, and I will always respect her. There's no point that she has ever made treated me different from other kids because we have other kids. Hakuna time ashainionyesha wewe uko less ama uko nini. But ameni support kabisa. And you see this is TB and we know TB is communicable. So na expect hata mtu akikunywa kikombe alafu utumie, it's easy for you to get the but amesema hata lazwa nitaenda kumtikia tena. So we went home. Nikaangalia, of course I had some time so that I stabilized, then I went back to school. Kurudi shule sikukunywa dawa bado. Nikakunywa leo like that sikukunywa vizuri. Treatment failed. If you do not take TB treatment well, ina fail. So mi kurudi naambiwa lazima ufanywe test ya mwisho because you see, and then kids can be very cunning. Mtu atakwambia hata mimi nilikuwa nachukua dawa. Sitachukua dawa mpaka za 1 month. Nitakunywa probably kwa hiyo packet ziko 30. It's just I forgot ningekuletea nikuonyesha. Ziko hapo. Nitameza probably 20 hizo 10. Nikirudi clinic unafaa kurudi na chupa because the hospital wants to make sure that people are adhering. The government is using a lot of money. Kunini dawa za ARVs, they are free. Most people don't know that, but they're free. So the government is putting so much money for this. So they don't want ati mtu achukue dawa alafu atupe nisikie kuna hata zinapika pombe and all that. So kirudi clinic mpaka saa hii mpaka mimi nikiwa hivi wanainisha ni venye tu na me the hospital, but even me I will find nitaenda kwa pharmacist na nipate mtu mwenye anijui. So you must go with your container yenye dawa zimeisha. Kama umebakisha 3 lazima uzirudishe. Uwekewe kwa the next nini. So that is what I went nikamwambia mimi nilimaliza. But what we didn't know and what most positive people don't know, utaambia daktari umekunywa but si utatolewa damu. Itaonyesha kama unakunywa damu au ukunywi. Because ile nilikwambia jia suppression. If you're taking medication, you'll be suppressed. The virus will not be detected. Ama itakuwa imeenda chini. If you're not taking medication, si bado zina mutilate.
So virus continues.
Itakuwa juu.
Okay.
You get? So mimi nimeenda nikasema nilikunywa dawa, kaniambia hapana hukunywa vizuri. And now the second treatment ya TB ni sindano. And zinakwanga huku kwa hips. And there are 60 of them. Yes.
Without
every
fail.
day without fail. So I was told, not because you fail, so ulikata kumeza dawa zenye ni tablet moja. Ilikuwa moja mbili I think. Now you're going to have sindano. Nimpe sindano hizo zote na tudawa upelekee nurse. So now hapa hakuna siwezi sema ati nitajidunga, so the nurse had to come through. So this one she had to make sure. And let me tell you, mimi naogopa sindano mpaka saa hii.
60 is a lot.
I know, and you're in school. Yani, the moment the pain comes, it does not go until the next injection. Sasa ni huku. Umedunga hivyo, na ni huku. There is 60 of them. And sasa hiyo singikata. I mean, utakujua mpaka kwa class. So I went through that, and immediately after that, venye nilimaliza hiyo dose, I have never had an issue with chest sijui nini. Ikaisha hivyo. And life continued. Form 3, Form 4, mimi hata naulizanga where do everyone niambie. Form 1, Form 2, we are getting A's, we are getting B's. Tukienda Form 3 zinaendanga wapi?
I think Form 3 and Form 4.
I don't know.
Form 1 you want to be a lawyer, Form 2 you want to be a doctor, Form 3 a nurse, Form 4 now you're saying I want to be anything so long as
anything as long as I will get something. So that is what happened. And Form 3 was quite okay. I didn't have issues. Form 4 was equally okay. I didn't have issues apart from those two vituko za shule. But then now I did my Form 4. And immediately I did my Form 4, I went to my aunt's place. Sijui na hiyo idea tena ilitoka wapi. Yaani ukimaliza shule lazima uende mahali. Lazima uende kwa auntie, sijui uende kwa.
You want to cook yourself somewhere that's not home.
And go and do computer classes. Another thing I don't know is vitu zilikuwa.
Also did computer classes after Form 4. I don't know why. I think it's like a rite of passage.
Yes, it is. So I went there and I started my classes. When nilikuwa nimeanza hapo, so I met someone there. I met someone there and we started dating heavy like that. So the exams were out. By May exams zilikuwa zimetoka. And I knew one thing I didn't want to go to. I knew nitapita but sikuwa nataka kwenda public university. Because I had seen my cousins wakikuja long holiday. Then unaona mimi kwanza niko ushago. Nikiimagine kahawa, Jesus. I really wanted to go to a university where mimi sina long holiday. Yani nisome nimalize. So my friend tells me, let's apply for Mount Kenya. I have no problem with mentioning the school. In high school, I was in Kenny Girls. So I went to Nika apply. And I was very good in business, so I applied for human resource. na nikiwa huko kwa auntie, tukiwa huko na na everything was settled, nika decide niyo course nafanya and nikanunua vitu and all that. So come reporting, before we reported, I was still at my aunt. My uncle asked me, why is it that you can't do a certain course? Tulikuwa nako ka booklet, sasa ukichagua this course. So it was public health, but community health and HIV management, but in public health, in the school in medicine, but sasa hiyo nini. So akaniambia kwani usifanye hii course and you bado you are good in biology. Nikamwambia I would want, but I felt this course will make me keeping remind about what I'm going through and all that.
Constant reminder that it's because of.
And I believe that I always tell people when someone comes to me akiniambia maybe someone infected them, they want closure, na wambia, you know, at times I feel that closure, opening those wounds will not make you heal. Just accept and move on. So nikamwambia mi sidhani, but akaniambia I believe this course will help you as a person and it will equally help you help the society. That is the statement. Na from there nikasema ni sawa, nitafanya hiyo. Mimi huyo reporting day sijambia my dad. So my dad came from Nyeri na mimi nikatoka kwa auntie yangu ni Matutu kakuja mpaka Thika. And I reported. Sasa si nimetoka business. So nimeenda kwa medical ka fish ka rice and niko na vitu za business. Sina mpaka lab coat and all that, and sina hata lab coat na anything yenye iko involved. But sasa nikamwambia because we've changed, we will buy those ones later. Kasema ni sawa. So I reported. So mimi Angie niko campus. Yani I've never had that freedom. I mean niko shule.
There's a lot of freedom. And temptations.
Freedom. No one is asking. I mean, you're not reporting to anyone. It's you. Pesa zenye umepewa ufanye chenye unataka. That is where things went mlama.
Literally. So you met someone.
I met someone.
While waiting for your results, you had someone.
Yes, and he was equally waiting for his results. But yes, sasa kama venye nini ilikuja yalienda law school na mimi sasa si nikaenda MKU.
Medicine.
I don't want to explain what unajua ni nani. So after that, nikaingia shule. Yani this is a new environment. Mimi hata nishaiona pombe wapi? Nyeri wapi? Okay, so I have known, nimejua bash, nimejua nini.
First year living life.
Living. Mimi, so, and I always say, if I happen to ever get a kid, hey, me I don't want to kufungia mtoto wangu by the way. Because I feel, si kufungiwa literally, but I feel exposure will save you a lot. Will save even right now. Tunasema mimi kwanza uambia mtu exposure will save you from a lot of nonsense by the way. Being impressed by very, very funny things. So mimi ndio huyu. First year ni poa. First year of course kila mtu unajaribu kuadapt, unajua Thika, unajua kuna nini hivyo. So that was quite okay. But again, I'm still not very adherent. This is school. Mimi sijui kulienda aje because class venye tulienda happen. Even kwa hostel yenye nilienda tulikaa the same, watu wenye tunasoma na wao. So these are people, unaona kwa yenye nafanya community HIV management, so drugs ziko nini, so someone knows. And not like now that we keep sensitizing mpaka naendanga nafanya video mtu anaona dawa, watu wengi hawajui this. So I had a very hard time. Na nakumbuka campus it's the most time yenye siku meza dawa. Tafadhali high school juu walimu unajua na sasa hapo kwa peke yako. So nitameza nitakosa and all that. Nimejua kapombe hivyo. First year, very good.
And good remember, girl. You shouldn't mix ARVs and alcohol.
Yes, you shouldn't. Mimi niko poa. I mean, results zinatumwa, natumiwa fee na lipa. Good girl. Naenda kukifungwa naenda home and all that.
Plus you're so pretty.
Second year, me I don't know where that went. Mimi huyo nikitumwa do, and then I tell people that I used 57,000 as school fees. Wana assume hiyo pesa ni mingi. But that money sikuwa natumiwa ati yote. That is, leo utatumiwa 10k, ulipe fee. Next week, unajua mzazi ni kuhustle na hustle. It's not like my parents were doing very well. Next week utumiwa 15, next week 5k. Sasa siwa wana expect. Mimi nalipa. Sherehe. Bin sherehe. I'm telling you, acha nikwambie, my dad, akisikia niko Thika mpaka saa hii, even on my own, he freaks out. I mean, like he doesn't believe all that happened. Because there was story ya kutumia school fees and he was struggling your time. Haizi amini.
Let me tell you something. Once you go to Thika, there's no coming back. There's no coming back. There's no rehab for Thika. I'll tell you this. There's no rehab for Thika. Thika is just another city on its own with its own rules.
Well, so when I went to Thika, I had to transfer my clinic, and because sasa sitaki kucommute sana, so I came from Karatina nikakuja Thika level 5, and I've always been someone who doesn't want kunini who kukaa idle. So mimi juu nilikuwa naenda hiyo clinic, nikaenda nikamwambia I'm doing the same course, I can volunteer hapa, because nilikuwa nimesikia ukivolunteer mtu anapata job haraka. But they will feel so bad to release you, they'll accommodate you. And because nilikuwa naona watu wenye wako mbele yetu, because you have common classes hizo zenye watu utapatana, so nika volunteer hapo. So I'm volunteering, nikafanywa training, and I became a peer mentor. I'm the one who introduced in Thika peer mentors and peer educators. Tukaanza hivyo. So this the staff knows that I'm doing ni mimi naongelesha watoto nawaambia juu ya dawa and all that, but mimi mwenyewe bado sikunywi dawa as I should. But of course mimi nimekuwa kana uwezi, you cannot, apart from your time I'm healthy, you cannot tell anything. So that goes. So one day niko hostel, mwaka I think third floor. Mimi dada amenipigia kutoka asubuhi, nashindwa ni nini huyu mzee amenipigia. Sikushika simu. So my friend calls me ananiambia, ni nini unatafutwa na your dad is here, kwa nini ushiki simu? Nikamwambia ati yako kuchungulia na maana akasuti ka grey kwa kizunguka, he is so mad. Nikajua now everything is out, because I didn't used to go sionyeshi results, nasema ziko kwa portal, sija download, situmi bank slips zenye zimeonyesha nimelipa fee, so they knew there's something that is going on and he had to come. So Mr. Mashira amejua sijakuwa nikilipa school fees mwaka mzima. Not even mwaka, I don't think it was a full mwaka, because kuna zenye nimelipa zenye nini. I've not been going to class. Class nitaenda, times nitaenda, but sitafanya exams, because of course kama hujalipa utafanya exams. So he called my aunt and akamwambia ni kama huku vitu huyu ameamua hasomi, msichana wako amesema hasomi. So they decided to come to school. My uncle called me. Sasa I think he's the person mwenye mpaka saa hii if something is not working right ni yetu ataambia buuliza huyu ni nini. So he called me akaniambia ni nini part, nikamuuliza nini, akaniambia sinaambiwa na dada kuko na ushiki simu. Nikamwambia mimi nimekuwa tu class. Nikamwambia umekuwa class na uendange mpaka class, tunakuja kesho. Nikamwambia ni sawa. So I didn't have a point sahi, hakuna ishajulikana, there is nothing that I can do. So nikamwambia wakakuja wakaniuliza ni nini. Yani they thought walikuwa wanaangalia mpaka I'm doing drugs. Yani those hard drugs. They're like a counseling. They used to call me, unafanya counseling, unaenda nini hivyo vyote. So mimi nikafanya hivyo na and they said wewe pesa ni sawa because we want you to finish. Lazima hauna choice, lazima utamaliza. So tutalipa tena. Go back to class. That was what was done. Mimi si nimeendelea, but now at this point na feel what I had in mind, that I used to consume, and I always explain that it might not sound very reasonable, but that is the point I was in life. And anytime I feel someone is giving up, I will not judge you. I might naweza kuwa nili overcome hiyo na nitafeel ni kama wewe unataka kujiwaste, but either way I will not, because I had gotten to a point na feel nasoma ya nini, I mean si nitakufa. Hata hii masomo itanisaidia, nasoma ya nini nitakufa. You get? So nikamwambia mimi hivyo, nikamwambia mimi sioni kama there is anything. Nikarudi class but bado nikaacha tena. Yes.
Good girl gone bad, bad gone good, then good gone bad again.
It's been a rise and fall. So after that my dad traveled. He was going to work in Dubai in 2014. So mimi nikamwambia mimi sisomi. So that time when he went, my sister, I have a blood sister, and my step brother were in high school. Walikuwa high school. So akaniambia wewe Julie katata kusoma, acha wenye wanataka kusoma wasome, kwanza wewe pumzika. And hiyo time when I stopped kwenda shule, kutoka hiyo siku sikuwa ikunywa dawa. Nisema acha sasa nikufe. Yani I was feeling like nime mess up, yes, but I'm feeling like they ought to give me a chance. You see that that entitlement. I mean, niko mgonjwa, mimi hii ni vitu nimeniletea, mimi sijui what all this came from, and then you're here telling me nime mess up, it's fine, but you should just give me a chance and all that. So nilikuwa na feel kama wananichukia. And I was feeling they should equally give me a chance to make my ways, but there was not hakukuwa na hiyo negotiation. Nikamwambia hata mimi sitaki, acha nikae hivyo. So used to niko tu huko. I used to stay with my friends, so food haiwezi kosekana. Of course mamake atanini, because she was my homie, mamake ananijua and all that. So come December, my 2013 sasa December, dad alienda 2014. My uncle called me, brother to my dad, the first born, akanipigia. Sasa mampoa. Nikamwambia, akaniambia, I want you to come to Christmas to Nairobi na you'll be our guest, because they knew sasa it's going imeenda
We've lost her.
We've lost her. Kaniambia, I want you to come to Nairobi, nataka na saa 20 hata home ni wewe mgeni wetu. Nikamwambia sawa, nitakuja. Akanitumia fare. So at that point, yani I was mpaka niko na hizo tu picha nitakuonyesha. Guy, yani nilikuwa nimefika pale mwisho kabisa, and I tell people if I came out of that space alive, I didn't know that I will ever come out of that space, because I was depressed, I was frustrated, I was angry, and I knew that that is the end. Hakuna kitu kingine nilikuwa nataka. So if you see people are going through a lot out here. Hope. And young people, I know that age, sijui what happens with that age between 21 and all that. So my uncle tells me, kuja. Nakumbuka niliingia kwa gari kutoka Thika, I came crying Nika West. Nalia. So then nilifika, my cousin came na auntie yangu akakuja kunichukua, bado nalia. Tukaenda kwa nyumba. When we went, akaniuliza, they didn't even question me. Wakaniambia kula ulale, and then the following day ilikuwa Christmas. So we celebrated, tukaamka tukapika. Bado I'm still having those tuka celebrate, and then in the evening akapea cousin yangu ndo akaanza mpelekeni out. Nataende out. Tutaongea na yeye kesho. So that is what happened. Kapeleka out, then we came back. So the following day hakuniuliza, but that uncle of mine is extremely patient. Very patient. Hakuniuliza anything. Nikakaa kama siku 2 hivi, sasa akaniuliza what is happening. So mimi nikamwambia mimi na feel kama dad hanipendi, because the reason he has gone, well, I've messed up, but now you can't tell me that my life stops at that. Nikamwambia ni sawa mimi. Akaniambia what do you want? Nikamwambia acha tu nigoje kina nani wasome pia mimi nitarudi. Unaona sasa sikunywi dawa at all. So tumeka wao wana assume nakunywa dawa. Unajua hawajui wana assume nakunywa dawa. So that went, but then I started becoming, nilikuwa kuna time mtu kama hii anapata tu vitu vingine tunakuwa watu wa white. I don't want to describe watu wasianze kuonyesha watu stigma huku nje. But you get that from the stigma, because the immunity is very low, it can equally be seen mpaka kwa uso and all that. So one day my friend yule mwenye tulikuwa na yeye MKU akakuja kunivisit, she's from our place, and she was like nini wewe, what is happening, why are you looking like this? Nikamwambia kuna mimi niko sawa. Akaniambia no hauko sawa. Akamwambia auntie yangu, akamwambia she's not okay na nitampeleka hosi. Akaniambia hivyo. So she said that she'll take me, tukaenda hosi. Kuangalia very road. Iko huko juu. Dawa wakaniambia, dawa hata nikipewa, I was in first line, siwezi fanya kazi, because I've really stopped for a long time. And this is where I encourage people. You see, once you get, if you adhere to medication, utaremain kwa kumeza dawa moja peke yake. That first line. There are 3 lines. There's first line, there's second line, and there's third line. First line is the first medication that you're given once you test positive. It's the same medication that is used for PEP. Post-exposure prophylaxis. Yenye tunasemanga in case you have a risk, maybe a condom has busted, mtoto amelipiwa and all that, hiyo ndio anapewa. Ama the key population ndio anapewa. Una take before 72 hours, you take for 28 days. Bado ni ARVs. Ndio naambianga mtu ukipata, mpaka naona watu wakinitumia nini umepata kwa chali yako ama kwa demu yako, hiyo don't rule out ati yako positive. Maybe alipata an exposure na ndio ana take your PEP, which is an ARVs. Second line is when first line fails, you get to second line. It's a stronger ARVs, because you unaona imekata, unapewa hiyo. Then third line is the strongest, and that line is not available in Kenya. You buy. Inatoka maju, purposely imeandikwa Cleopatra Wanjiku, hiyo ni yako na lazima ununue. So you see, unaona sasa hizi zingine si they are free. So I tell people, if you can adhere, please adhere. Because if you won't adhere, you will be given the load ya kununua dawa. So unaona sijadhere first line, nikapelekwa second line. Second line, mimi mine worked. Within 3 months nilikuwa nimesuppress up to this point. Ile U is to you undetectable equals to untransmittable. So back huku nishaanzishwa dawa hapa. I joined church huku Kawes, nikaenda mimi ni wakadho, nimejoin. I don't want to stay idle. Nikajoin youth, and one day there's a girl anaitangwa Marian, alikuwa ananiuzia kapoch. Nikamwambia, you know, I'm not in school, probably you can teach me how to do this. Nikamwambia ni sawa. Si akaanza kunifunza. I got interest Angie to the point Auntie yangu na uncle yangu walikuwa wanalala, wakiamka wananipata tu nikishona. And that time ni kitu kama hii, it's very thin hivi na unashona na sindano hivi. So I developed that interest. Nikaanza mpaka kwenda huko kwa soko najifunza kushona and all that, and that is where Paba collection came in. Nikaanza kufanya mpaka beadwork, so I became very committed and I felt I can equally do this. Before hii time do zipatikane naweza. Nikaanza kujifunza beadwork. And I remember kuna mama nilipatana naye nikamwambia nataka nifunze. Akanifunza kutengeneza table mats. And I'm always, I've been very, mimi ni talkative. Me I will always speak out my mind. Nikiwa super, nilikuwa hata nimeenda kununua pads hapo clean shelf. Nikamwambia, nikapata manager hapo, nikamwambia kuna vitu natengeneza na najua mnaweza uza. Kaniuza ni nini? And then I was very young. Ni nini? Nikamwambia natengeneza mats. Akaniambia leta samples kesho. Si wakanichukulia, that is the first money yenye nini wakanichukulia.
So this became like therapy for you.
Yes.
And it worked.
And I always say that Paba collection is it's the purpose that has led me. It's the purpose God gave me that has led me to my destiny.
It was like your healing point.
Yes, it was my healing point. I don't think if it never came, kama singepata hiyo nini, I don't think hata ningekuwa sahi. So mimi nikaanza, nikapeleka mats. Pesa ilikuwa 9,500. Nishaiona pesa kama hiyo kwa maisha yangu. So mimi nimeenda wameniambia sijui tuandikie invoice ya kulipa. Invoice ni nini?
An invoice? Remember you didn't do business.
Wananiambia
you changed.
I changed. Of course I knew what is an invoice, but sasa wananiambia ni invoice book ni waandikie so that they will pay me, and they will pay me when they are making the next order. That's what supermarket. Nauza sasa mimi na sina pesa ingine. Nitafanya nini? So they told me, huyo nani akanihurumia, kaniambia ni sawa. Invoice book, yani life is just a trap. Invoice book unanunua tu hapo kwao. Hiyo pesa yenye unawaitisha unanunua tu hapo. So I bought, kwa invoice wakaniambia kuja kesho. So I paid. So the mats were little Patras mats with my name. Of course sikuwa na brand hiyo time. Zikaandikwa hivyo. So the following, kama after 1 week, this mama calls me, ni nini hizi naona super? Huyu mama mwenye alikuwa amenitrain, kwambia kwa hivyo mimi mambo yangu ni kama ishaenda sasa. Kaniambia hivyo. So hiyo time niliendea do. Nilichukua hiyo, walinipea cash, of course that's petty cash, wakanipea hivyo. Nilitoka hapo kwenda tu hapo nje kwa basi hizi Sunbird, nilikuwa naenda Kariakoo sasa shopping. Sasa si this is capital, nikapatana na huyo mama nikampea thao. I was just feeling philanthropic, yani billionaire, I can generous. Lakini acha nikwambie hiyo pesa. Mtu alikuwa ananiangalia hivi, hata siwezi kuangalia. Naona kama wanataka tu kunibia. You want to steal this money, you want Nicole nikaenda. So yani when you're young, when you're stupid, and that's why when you get money when you're young, most people unaona mtu anaweza ruka na kichwa because you don't know what to do. Nilienda shop yenye niliingia, nilinunua beads mpaka nikuja kuzitupa. I didn't do anything with them. Yani nilikuwa naona inawaambia nipe hii nipe hii nipe. I knew that cheap. Nikaona vitu hivi nikaanza. So that is how I started. Nikaanza kujifunza. My dad is still there, tunaongea tusikizani, tutakosana na block everywhere. I had those faces, today I'm well, tomorrow I'm not okay, and all that. So, mzae, one day nikiwa home, nishaanza kujifunza mpaka kushona manguo. There's a friend who was telling me to America, kanambia shiko kuna stall. Nikamwambia stall ya kufanya nini? Mi sitaki stall. Akaniambia you can try hizo vitu zako kuja ujaribu. There's always a first time. Nikamwambia mimi sina dona, mnaitishanga pesa mingi. So walikuwa ni almost 100k. Nikamwambia kuja kesho. So I texted my dad, nikamwambia nimepata stall. Naweza what do you think? Akaniambia ni sawa, wewe enda usikie. Then nilienda wakaniambia ni 40. Mimi juni I'm young and I'm trying something for myself. Naweza anza watanitisha 40k. Nikamwambia dad, nikamwambia ni sawa. Nikamwambia nitakutumia. So I had saved. Nikawapea 20k, nikamwambia 20k nitatuma kesho. Nikiwa hapo, another man comes, akasema nisikia kuna store ndio hii pesa 100k, akawekelea hapo. Mimi nimepeana 20k yangu, nimeweka kama kafala hapo. Wakamwambia pole ishaenda, msichana ashalipa. So I always say my life, everything in my life, I believe God has. I may not be very religious and all that, but God has, grace has carried me through on my life. So wakaitikia, medada akanitumia pesa nyingine, nikanunua machine na nikaanza. Vitu tu zilianza kuwork out. Kufungua hivyo nikaitwa sasa, si wale nisharudi clinic, they were disappointed but they still don't want, they won't let you go. When mtoto wao amekulea, umewafanyia job pia. They called me for a contract. Nikapewa job but nipostiwa Murang'a to mentorship hizo. And they used to pay 2500 per hour. Sasa unaona bado. Sasa kule kwa aunti yangu things started, kuna two issues to the point when I told my dad, akambia umeanza kupata pesa unataka kuhama mama nini? Nikamwambia no, you will understand that story. That is a story for another day, but things just didn't work out. So mimi nikamwambia nataka kuhama. Akaniambia ni sawa, but wait nikuja. Alikuwa anakuja for holiday. So venye alikuja ngaza what are the plans? Nakwambia acha nikwambie, auntie nilinunua vitu hadi nikanunua gas, hadi nilikuwa napika chai kwa hiyo duka yangu kwa West. So venye alifika tu hivi akaniambia ni sawa. I moved out. Kapata ka bed sitter ka 45 ka bed sitter, hata sikuwa Jesus.
Yani independent.
Hata kupita hivi nilikuwa napita hivi, ukiwa na mtu kwa hiyo nyumba mkosane umfanyie hivi na maji. That's it. So that is how I started life. And I started building the brand and all that. And I still used to go to these vitu za HIV and all that, but I was not comfortable. And I was lucky because GI interviews and all that, my Binika kuja nikajua jina, this is Paba collection, Patras African beaded accessories and Ankara. Ikakuwa brand sasa. I got akina Desawa, akina nani wakaanza kuni advertise, akina Tricky, nilikuwa na address and all that. So the business grew. So at this point people know me. And
your brand is now big.
It's big. People know me. I don't want. I always knew I will come and inspire someone someday. But I wanted about my status. Ni mimi mwenyewe nitajisemea. Si ati nimepigwa picha mahali imepostiwa watu wamesema. I had said I don't want that. I said so I went from that space completely. Nikamwambia hata hizo meeting sitakuwa naenda. Wakati nilitoka hiyo age adolescent 25 years, nikasema I want to be going for those meetings because I want to build my brand, and I want when you call me then you ulinipigia simu that you want me to inspire someone, I have something that I can tell them. I've come from there, I'm here right now. So that is what I did, and I step aside. Nikakuwa focus na brand yangu. So 2020, that whole year I've been writing my story all along. Nimekuwa nikiandika mpaka saa hii. So I said this is the right time to go public about my status. Mimi yote najua watu wanajua, kuna wenye wanajua, but unajua it's very hard. I'm very confident. People, mtu confident si rahisi. Hata mtu akikusengenya, hata Rosa hakuwa anataka kuuliza kitu, hata Glado anataka kuniuliza, hata niuliza ataogopa. So people didn't choose. It's just best yangu mmoja na semanga anaitwa Roban. Yeye aliniuliza, "Hii story nasikianga ya status yako ni ukweli?" Nikamwambia, "But then nilikuwa kawesi, nilikuwa hiyo business I met someone." So mimi niko nataka kumwambia, nikamwambia just status zangu, hey, that guy. Na naonanga akinitext. Wewe mzee, grow up. And alienda kaambia kila mtu. So stories zikakuwa everywhere. And then I didn't expect because I felt this is someone who was mature than me. So nimemwambia naenda place nasikia kila mtu wako like, unaona watu wanakuangalia, unaona watu wanakutreat
differently.
Not differently in a bad way, but mtu anakutreat like wewe kama watu wanakunywa coffee, wewe kunywa chai ya maziwa.
They're making you feel like you're going to die the next day. Like
but then, si expect your story imetoka. So someone told me, akaniambia, sijui ati, niseme jina, alituambia, alisema, niko like, mpaka unajua sijai muuliza, but siku moja nilisema nitamuuliza, lakini naona akinitumia nonsense zake za kazi hapo ati nimsupport. Siwezi, by the way. Me, I beef. I beef to the grave. I don't forgive people. So that is what went. So I knew people knew. But no one could have come at and niulize all that. So mimi huyo, nika decide I want to go public. So I told when nilikuwa comfortable nawaambia. So there's another guy who was hitting on me. So I tell him I want to do this and this. Nilikuwa nishamwambia. And huyo nilimwambia nikitaka kwenda public. Akaniambia, "Oh, do you know your friend?" Hey, that's another name. Akaniambia, "Unajua beshte yako aliona nikukatia." Akaniambia, una nini? Unakatia partner, unajua kazi yake hakunywangi dawa, hata anaendanga tu akiambukiza watu ukimwi."
So this is your friend telling this
guy. A friend that I have hosted. Walikuwa wamefungua nyumba, mamake akaenda ushago, mimi nikamweka kwa nyumba yangu. Yani mimi nakwambia, acha nikwambie sai, and mimi I've helped people, and I'm looking at it. I am a young person. Mimi nimekuja Nairobi.
I'm also struggling.
I'm equally struggling, but you're helping people. I've hosted people to the point mimi kwangu wezi lala siku mbili sai. As much as how the house is big, no one, not unless wewe ni wetu. I do not. It got to a point, yani I didn't, that is the worst. Mpaka dem tulipatana naye mpaka sai na feelingi Na imagine sijai muuliza, but she knows what she did because I always talk about it.
I think it's
This
so
guy
bad when
still
you
tells
trust
me,
people.
mpaka beshte yake mwingine, bado I was working with her, alikuwa ananimodelia, bado yeye alimwambia kitu kaa hiyo, because that guy was just all over me, mpaka ata comment vitu zangu and all that. So everyone knew that he is interested. So mimi nikamwambia, akaniambia, but don't worry about that all nini hivyo. Mimi si nikaachana nayo, but I still went public. Sasa after nimeenda public ndio mambo ikaanza kuchemka. Huyu anakuja akwambia, unajua nilikuwa nishaambiwa, nilikuwa huyu alisema, kuna mwingine alisema pata anajifanyanga nadhani atujia anakuwa na ukimwi. And I look at those people, right, from people. Mpaka mtu anakuambia instance unaona yenyewe, by the way it can be true. Alisema instance umepita unasema hukuona hiyo time venye ulipita venye tulikuwa, unajua yenyewe. So because of all those things, it's not, I usually say I didn't go public because I succumbed to that pressure, but I made it know that you cannot use what I've accepted about myself against
To hurt me.
Not today, not tomorrow. That is why you see, you follow me on TikTok. Those comments, watu wakicomment hapo, it might make me feel bad because I'm human, but haiwezi ni get kwa roho hivyo sana. Yani life has hardened me to the point of that. So 2020 came, nimeambia madaktari zangu, ameniambia lakini tuko na shida. Nikamwambia are you sure? Nikamwambia yes I am. So the psychologist akaniambia, I think you need to tell people that you've been dating. Of course I've been dating. Nikamwambia sawa. Hatutaki useme, unajua sasa kwanza wanajua sikuwa na adhia, naweza kuwa probably nimeinfect mtu hapa. But you need to talk to them, waambie. Hatutaki uende public leo alafu kichwa yako sijui tupatane nayo wapi. Nikamwambia ni sawa. So I tell my guys nini, kuna yani mpaka naangalia sasa nasema by the way if it was in my position hata mimi by the way ningefaint. I remember there is my current ex your time, nilimwambia, aliniambia alikuwa kwa gari akashuka alienda hosi 10. No, but you don't worry, you are okay. Of course I know about you is to you. I've been undetectable, and that is what we are campaigning for now. If you are undetectable, you cannot transmit. You is to you. Hata you have unprotected sex, you cannot transmit because you've suppressed. The virus iko kwa bone marrow. If I got tested today, my results might come negative. It doesn't mean that I'm healed. It means that I've suppressed
the virus.
The virus it's not easily detectable through the normal test. You get? So that is what happened. So mimi nikaenda public. Watch I blow the internet everywhere and all that. Sasa naona mpaka huyo msichana wangu niambia, je, ukimwi amecomment hapo, girl, you've just been strong all from like mamazo. So that is what happened. Went public. Everyone is on you and all that. Do you know I had 783 messages WhatsApp zenye sasa mpya zenye naona hivi mpya. Kila mtu anakutext na nilijibu after 1 month. Mpaka Facebook sikuwa ijibu because there were so many. Mpaka YouTube sikuwa ijibu. Nilijibu 1 month later. So I gave my story and all that I've been through and all that. So after that, my friends, because sasa acha niwaambie kwanza niba yangu, huyo siwezi maana inaitwa Njugush. He was my name, but sasa Njugush sinikuwa nimehype sana, I'm telling a story. So they thought I'm telling the story about Paba. Yani pia yeye hakuwa anajua na ni niba yangu mwenye tunashinda mtu akiingia kwa nyumba. So Njugush alikuwa night shift. Akaniambia akakuja asubuhi akamwambia, "Ni nini utatuwekea story ni nini?" Nikamwambia si nisha post. Njugush nakwambia aliona, alikuja kwangu asubuhi akakaa hapo kwa coach akaniambia, chatundi naye kwanza." Nikamwambia sawa. So ako like, so my sales girl, sasa hiyo the business grew, nilikuwa na shop car west, nikafungua shop tao. So msichana wangu wa job naye ananiambia ati alipigiwa simu na sister yake, akapigiwa kama umeona parts. So kila mtu anaona kama nakufa. Kamza nini? So Karo alikuwa anaitwa Karo. Alifungua simu hivi, akaona hiyo stage nilikuwa nimesema I am HIV positive. Akaona ni Beka ameona akafanya hivi, akaanza kulia, akashuka gari. Everyone was confused, everyone was crying. Niko like, I don't want that pity party. And I always tell, because when I tell my story, I don't want, and I imagine I don't have, people feel that I'm a little bit cruel, but trust me, and I don't have a soft spot for a sad story. I have a sad story too, but I decided I will stand up, I will dress up,
be used against
and I
you.
will show up. So I don't, well, I understand, but mimi sina your soft spot. Ile sana, of course I will see things, I will cry and all that, but I believe everyone can pick themselves up. so many. So everyone is shocked nini. Hivyo mpaka huwa na mimi. So I started hivyo nikaanza and then my friends wakadecide kuna bishangu atakuwa tunaongeleshana. Alikuja na nini chicken na maua na nini na mtoto wake. Anakuja kwa gate anasema nataka shiko. Anaambiwa na nani hautaingia mpigie simu. Mimi ni sign nishamblock and everything. Alikuja akaniambia unafanya si ungetuita atatukunywa alafu tuambie sisi kama mabeshto wako tusianguke kwa barabara. Nikamwambia no, if you never knew before I wanted you to learn from everyone because the message was there to be passed and to inspire someone, to empower someone
and to change the wrong narrative
in
the society.
The narrative about people people who are living positively. I want everyone, and up to now my vision and naambianga wase kama nilikuwa popular before niende public about my status. Because I wanted someone to know that there is
because
life.
Baba has been there for
it has
long.
Been there for long.
For long.
I want someone to know there is something, there is life after testing HIV positive. So my friends, how mabishtongo akaniambia, there is no point you can start, you can go public inaishia hapo, you get? Let's do something. So that is when I was going public, the title of my story was The Voice of a Black Girl. But now I didn't want, we decided we cannot do something about the girl child only, let's make it the voice of a black child. So that is where the organization came from. So I say, and I always say, I thank God has used me to be a messenger of anything about HIV, SRHR and all that. And that is something that I will never, I don't regret. Hakuna siku Anju, unajua mtu ufanya kitu alafu unasema siku niliketi hivi nikafeel ni kama singeenda public. Imagine sijawahi. Maybe itakuja baadaye. Personally, from the honest part, I don't think I regret. I don't think I could have been, but I feel it made me stop all those two tanks. Habia nini? Hakuna kitu naweza niambia. Kuniambia tu ati niko na ukimwi. What? Ati mtu naonanga mpaka you see people will always hit on you. And then funny inafahamu kwa mnanikatia hiyo time sasa hii ndio mnanitaka. Kwa nini? Because I usually, if you kept distance when I was not public, and now that I'm public, you want to come.
Keep
Sijapona, keep that distance. Sijapona na siponi, just keep that distance. So, that is what happened. Sasa nikaanza, that is the voice. Tukaanza hivyo, we've been doing activities for the last 2 years. And it's a community-based organization. We focus on HIV sensitization, sexual reproductive health and contraceptives awareness, and we're equally fighting stigma and discrimination in the society today.
I feel like it is important to let people know that HIV is not just sexual. There's so many ways of getting HIV. Today you might get an accident through blood-to-blood transfusion, then you'll also get HIV. And it's important to tell people that as a society, I think we are not where we were 10 years ago, but we are also not where we should be right now. And it's very important not to stigmatize people, because what kills people who are living positively is not the virus, but the stigmatization that we as a society give to them. Instead of stigmatization, why not educate? Why not impact? Why not change?
Support.
Why not do something that is different? You don't have to be a bully. You don't have to write negative comments about these people, because if they have it, you can also get it. Not because you were born living negatively, you can't get HIV at any point in life. You might get into an accident, like I've said, through blood transfusion, through so many ways, through
piercing,
sharing things.
Even at work, doctors get to that exposure. So there's
there's so many ways of getting HIV. It's not just sexual, because I feel like every time that the name HIV pops up, somebody thinks of something sexual, something bad. This person is terrible. This is another Sodom and Gomorrah walking.
This person has been...
this person is the most... So many bad words. And I feel like you are a vessel of change and a vessel of peace. But if you don't follow Cleopatra on TikTok, you're not following good content. Like whatever she does is very beautiful. Like she's one person with a very beautiful heart. And I'm not saying this just because you're seated here. We talk constantly, and we do talk constantly. And I do tell her that you're doing a good job. Like she's doing so much more than most people who think they're so righteous are not doing. She's impacting change, and I think as a society we should be supporting such causes that are going to impact lives and are going to impact change in the society. As you wrap up, you have a book coming up.
Yes, I have. And before even I wrap up, I want to thank, I've had very supportive people who have supported me, starting with Zunguka, Africa Safaris. And this, I want to tell Sam, he has been extremely supportive to me. And the reason that we are where we are, it's because of people who think that we can create a stigma-free society. It's not about the status. We can live if we become kind to each other, if we share love and affection to each other, we will definitely be raising a very good generation. So Sam, thank you so much for the support. I don't take it for granted. I always have been that person who believes that anyone can make a change. Mimi sijai meet Sam, but he has support from the day nilimtext TV. I'm to support. So, and guys, if you want to book, please
your
go to
holidays,
Zunguka, please. Achani kukaanga kwa nyumba kama sufuria. Hii pesa itaisha. So, a book is coming up. It's on the way. And it will be a story of an autobiographical story of my life and what we've been doing. And I believe that that book will be telling what every other child, every other young adolescent who is living positively has gone through, and it will help us raise a generation that is free from new infection, free from teenage pregnancies, and equally free from gender-based, gender and sexual-based violence. Those are the 3 threats that are affecting young people right now. And we are trying to end AIDS in children. We are trying to end AIDS. In children, we are ending AIDS by 2027. In adults, we are ending AIDS
possible.
by 2030. It is possible. A world without kids with HIV is possible. Yes.
You've talked about your father as you wrap up now. Finally, your father has been a constant pillar in your life. You've mentioned him severally in your story, and he's been such an inspiration to you. Just tell us how important it is for a parent to stick by their child during such a phase.
Well, you see, anytime, even I had my mom's memorial 3 weeks ago, 22 years memorial, and I told my dad, when I was talking to him, I said, I don't want to cry, because I've disappointed him for I think the largest part of my life. I've disappointed him, but I picked myself up, and that's why I'm here. And I told him, I want to thank him because he has been extremely supportive. This is a male parent who has been there, who is taking you through and mpaka vijana sijui nini and all that. So I appreciate, and I would tell every other parent, hold your child tight. Whether they are good, whether they are bad, ama wanafanya nini, please hold them tight. But again, don't make them very naughty. Acha nikwambia hata kama we are wrapping up, we have these kids wenye wako positive. Imagine mtoto atakuja akwambia, akienda shule anasema mimi sifai kukula, nafaa kukula nyama, nafaa kufanya nini. There are those that are very stubborn, wanapea watoto stress, wanapea wazazi stress. But we equally have those kids, you should support them. So for any parent, if I'm a parent today, I don't expect at this age to give birth to a positive child. But anyone who is out there, and you have a kid living positive, or any other adolescent, it's very hard dealing with them today when the internet and everything is there. But please support them. Support. That is all you can give them, and that is all they need. So, but my dad, thank you so much. Mr. Mashiri, you've been the pillar of my life. And I may not be where I want to be in life, but once I get there, I will go back and tell everyone who has held my hand, I will tell them that I appreciate.
That's very beautiful. So let's end stigmatization, let's end cyberbullying, and let's increase sensitization and public education about HIV and AIDS. Now, as we wrap up, this is the 3rd time we are saying this. Give us your social media handles where people can find you and where people can support you with Paba Collection.
So in Paba Collection, we have a page that it's called Paba Ankara. We equally have a social media platform for the voice, for the organization. It's called The Voice of a Black Child. And for me, it's Cleopatra Wanjiku everywhere. Cleopatra Wanjiku on TikTok, on Facebook, on Twitter, and where else?
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, okay. Instagram, this is Patra. Ukitafuta Cleopatra. Why didn't you tell me I have a very beautiful name?
With Cleopatra is a very beautiful
name. I know,
name.
right? Yeah, hakuna mtu wengine wenye wanaitwa hivyo wametoa jina kutoka kwangu. Yes. So you'll get me there, and thank you so much for the support for everyone. Wenye wanahakikisha sirudi Nyeri. Thank you for supporting. We have very nice items at Paba Collection. We have Ankara items, we have jackets, we have t-shirts, we have hoodies and dresses and all that. Please support us and equally support the voice, because when you support the voice, to compare an outfits at the voice, if you buy a hoodie, you're supporting HIV sensitization, you're supporting a SRH child, and you're equally strengthening the fight against stigma and discrimination. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you too.
I had promised that this will be a good interview. Those stories that you go back to and listen to over and over and over again, because of the hope that is in there, the generosity and the faith. And and Cleopatra is an epitome of all this, and a lot of love and a lot of care. So for everyone who has listened to her story, go to her pages, support her, because supporting Cleopatra is supporting other kids who are going through such cases and should be bringing impact and change in the society. Thank you for watching this particular episode. My name is Anjali Satandi. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and follow us on our social media platforms at zungukatv.ke. Bye-bye.